stop at 2000. Okay, so I will not do anything each time we have the accelerated universe. That's for other people to do. But I'll talk about the opposing kinds. Here's a quote that I found. This is seemingly Zwicky talking to Alan Sandage. And this quote was given to me by Mr. Kaman. So Sandage and Kaman were trying to put together a distance ladder to measure distances to get Hubble losses. And Zwicky came around to Sandage's office and said, don't believe in any of these methods. The only reliable way of determining extragalactic distances is through supernovae investigations. So Zwicky knew this all along. I'll get back to Zwicky. Here's a quote from Bade, who, this was towards the end of his life, was disappointed that he couldn't do distances with galaxies. And so he said, you must understand the physics of galaxies before you can use them to work the geometry of space. This was one of the big programs that Bade, Sandage, and others had at the time to determine Q0. And so, when I finish, I'll say it now, but when I finish, I want you to remember that this applies to supernovae just as well. We need to understand the physics of the supernovae as well to be absolutely sure what we're doing. Okay. So this is just a quick rundown. This is the three methods that I believe today. I'll talk about some other methods. These are the three methods today that I believe are used: luminosity, distance. The second one is direct angular size. So if you have an object of which you can measure the size, like a torus around a supernova, for example, and you can resolve it, then you can get a distance. Or the third one is the change in angular size. So if you can follow the change of angular size, then you can measure this as well. And I'll talk about two of those, the first and the last. The direct angle size distance is only applied to X and A and then 3J as far as I can tell, but no other signal. Okay, but before I do this, I wanted to start with another method yet, parallax. So I put together this article, and the article started off saying, supernovae have always been used as distance indicator. And Mario Hamui is the editor, and he wrote back and says, that's not true. So he made me change my sentence. I now say, in Europe, they've always been used as distance indicator, something like this. So if you think about this, Tycho Brahe had measured this supernova. He didn't know it was a supernova, he just had a new star. And he realized that it was moving. Now, everything that changed in the sky was at least moving in the sky. This wasn't, and this was a real problem for the old picture of the cosmos. And so when he wrote his book, he actually did mention that this is a problem, and we need to think about that. The other case I wanted to mention, this is also not a distance measurement in itself, but in the Great Debate, Haber and Curtis had an argument with Novi. So that was quite supernova, but that was with Novi. And he said, is this strange that if you look at some of the nebulae, they have many more variable stars than the Milky Way and the rest of the sky. And so that was one of his arguments, that these nebulae have to be large collections of many, many, many stars. Okay. Now he didn't push this very hard. Here's the other one. This is in Andromeda. He said these are not real novae, with one supernova in it. Real novae. He said, how can it be that in the last 25 years we've seen 16 novae in Andromeda, and in historical times we have seen 30 all over the sky. So if novae came from stars, he argued, then Andromeda has to be a large collection of stars, and it had to be a galaxy outside our own. So these are two examples where I believe supernovae have been used as distance indicators, even though not in the same way we do this today. There was a problem, of course, in Andromeda with S Andromeda. There was this one nova that just was 13 magnitudes, 12 magnitudes brighter than all the others. So that was a bit weird. And Leibundgut worked that out. So he worked out the large luminosity of S Andromeda. This is from his paper. This is in 1925. This is the same year that Hubble published his extragalactic distances. Okay? That's where he published study in Andromeda. So from the distance derived, we find that Nova S Andromedae at the maximum reached a huge magnitude of -16. huge magnitude, because that was way beyond what anyone could imagine at the time. What made him hesitate to accept such a luminosity? I think that we have an analogous case in the famous nova B Cassiopeia in 1572. So Leibundgut could make that connection between Andromeda and Tycho supernova. So he could actually see these are separate classes. He called them upper class novae. He didn't quite coin the name supernova. He did that a little later. There's a paper where he used supernova before Zwicky and Bade published theirs, but there was a lot of crosstalk. They knew about each other, and so it's just a matter of who published when. I don't think it was a competition, just the way this happened. Now, this is an interesting diagram. This is 1925. Nobody knew about the expansion of the universe. Presumably, very few people did. So what's plotted here is the magnitude of the galaxy, he calls it system, versus the magnitude of the brightest nova, or as I said, he called it upper class novae. And so there's a correlation between the novae and the galaxies. Now, this is no different of what Hubble did when he used the size of galaxies to determine the expansion. Okay? It's exactly the same. But Hubble did this in 29. This is Leibundgut in 25. Leibundgut did not claim that this is an expansion of the universe. So here are the first true, what I would call true Hubble diagrams. You all know this equation, so I put it up because this 5 log V shows up in the ordinate in all these diagrams. And so this is Charlie Kowal's 1968 paper, which many people claim is the first Hubble diagram of type 1 supernovae. This is Zwicky in 1965. He published this in the Stars and Stellar Systems series of books. And so he had only 4 objects. He had Virgo, which was more than 1. And then Zwicky was very simple. He just numbered the supernovae. So 51, 46, 62, 87, etc. Okay, this is a poster stamp of Zwicky. I have other people who are on the same stamp set, but I'm not going to show them. So this is now through the 70s and the 80s. There were essentially, I think there's 2 people we need to mention here who really pushed this very hard. One was Gustav Taman, who claimed that type 1 supernovae are standard candles, and Dave Branch is the other one who really worked extremely hard to see whether we can use these supernovae. This is indicated. So here's Dave's 1973 Hubble diagram. These are the Virgo supernovae. He just collected Virgo, and here's Cova. These are various other supernovae, and they separated them into what type 1 supernovae in ellipticals and in spirals. And this is the same story with Taban a little later. Here's the one for ellipticals. The slope 5 is exactly what I said before. That's what you need. And here's the same diagram in spirals, and you see, even Taman realized there's something fishy here. This is not quite right. This cannot be measuring the expansion of the universe if the slope is not 5. Okay. So I thought I'd show you these people. This is a Supernovae conference in 1973. So the picture that we took yesterday, just remember, somebody will show this in 15 years. Here's Zwicky. Here's Leibundgut. But I think the important people here is, this is Gustav Taman, and this is David Branch. This is the David Branch I knew with the dark beard for many years. And there's lots of other people that you may know. Okay, so just in quickly, Mark had mentioned this on Tuesday. This is this paper by J. Elias et al. And this is the 85 paper. And so this is what they put together as a sort of template-like curve. And over here are these 3 cases that just don't bother about the template. And so what they did in their conclusion, they said, so this is the conclusion, the results of our program to date provide 2 new results. First, there are 2 subtypes of type 1 supernova, which can be readily distinguished on the basis of their infrared color curves. So this is, at that time, they already said, think infrared, forget about the optical. The more common type 1A shows strong variant absorption of 1.2 microns. The type 1b supernovae develop. Now, the one point I want to make here is this, if you do have a new class, it better be something different, okay? Just introducing a new class because it looks different doesn't really help you. Okay, I'm running out of time. So there's a distraction. This is 1987A. Everybody moved off. Here's Bob Köscher. Here's Gustav Taman. This is a Hubble diagram, some fools shown at the Santa Cruz meeting. That same fools put up this slide saying they're all standard candles. Type 1As are great. You just measure them, you get distances. Here's the picture that Mark showed. Here's this prime image of those three people, of those four people really. So Nick, Mark, and Mario. There's some other people in the picture. So I call this uncertainty and relief in the 1990s. At the beginning, 1991, we found these, well, 86G was a precursor, but 1991T and 21BG really destroyed this picture of type 1As as being all the same, like all uniform. There was a bit of despair until Mark worked out the luminosity-width relation, and many, many other people followed. So this is a picture of Mark doing this. This was before he did it. Do you remember what it is? And so, to do this right, those three people went out in 93 essentially to do the Kalam, the whole survey. I'm really sorry this will come out. This is not Dave Branch. This is Mark, okay? Same black beard. So, since I'm out of time, I can't talk about the EPM, the expanding photosphere, but I'll do it anyway. So, here's the wiki. But this person here is Leonard Searle. And so if you read the two original papers, one by Dave Branch for the type 1 supernovae, and the other one by Kirshner and Kwan on the type 2s, they both say, we do this on the suggestion of Leonard Searle. Leonard had told them to do this. And so this is the original Kirshner and Kwan paper. Here's Bob explaining the expanding photosphere. This is not as simple as you think, because you have to do dilution factors, you have to find the photosphere. And so there's people like Bob Wagner. Here's Bob Wagner. Here's Brian Schmidt looking at Bob Wagner, trying to work out what the dilution factors could be. He asked Ron Eastwood, who's standing right here next to Stan Riesling. Here he said Eddie Barrett, here's Peter Hufflick. They're all much younger in this picture. 21 years younger, okay? And here's Mario, who of course is one of them. So that's the, so that was EPM, and now very quickly, and I'm just done, the standardizable candle method that Mario really developed together with Phil Pinto, which tells you that the luminosity, the plateau luminosity correlates with the expansion velocity. You can use this for distances. So here's the Hubble diagram. This is, by the way, this is from your thesis, Mario. Is it published anywhere else?
J paper and thesis.
I couldn't find the hot J paper, so I found your thesis, so that's easy. So that's you, Mario, doing this. This is my last thing. With EPM and SEM, we have a possibility to measure the distance duality directly on the same object. So you can measure an angular size and a luminosity distance on the same supernova, and you can determine whether this is true or not. Okay. It's hard. This is the first attempt that Elizabeth Gull, a student of mine, has done, and you see that it's not working yet. But if you do, if you get distances large enough, then that's okay. So here's another quote, and then I'm just done. This is from Arthur Eddington in 1933, and I think you have to take this in. But the theory of the expanding universe is in some respects so preposterous that we naturally hesitate to commit ourselves to it. For it contains elements apparently so incredible that I feel almost an indignation that anyone should believe it, except myself. Okay, he had a pretty good ego. So that was the state in 1933. Of course, now we've gone to the accelerating universe, thank you God. So here's my end. I call those two guys distance indicators. They've indicated many distances, but they've also indicated many directions. Many of the methods that I showed indicated Mark and Nick are behind them. Mark, Nick, and Mario are behind these methods. All the type 2 stuff is coming from them, and then of course all the type 1 stuff as well. Thank you very much.
There's time for a couple of questions. Back there. 1991. So there was 1991T and 1991PG, and Mark got those to fit onto one relationship, which was obviously very important for the relief, I think that's what you call it. But after 1991PG, there was 1991BJ, which is a type 1AX supernova. And I've never seen it put on the Phillips relation. I don't know if the data is good enough, but it would have fallen off and it would not have been corrected. And if that one got the attention that the other previous two, this whole thing may not have happened.
It tells you the genius of these people to know which data to ignore.
Any other comment or question? Otherwise, we thank Bruno